Commissioner Sipe has graciously volunteered to give the invocation tonight, so if you would all please stand.
You'll join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that we have the right to gather here tonight and the freedom to do that in order to make decisions for our community. And we're thankful for the men and women who have fought and died for that privilege for us. Dear Lord, we're also so grateful for all the members of our community, and we hope that you'll guide us in our decisions and give us wisdom and the knowledge that we need to make the right decisions for our city. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins. We thank you so much for your unending love for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming out. Carla, would you please call the roll? Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bright.
Here.
Commissioner Randall.
Here.
Commissioner Slight.
Here.
Commissioner Lewis.
Here.
All present.
Okay. Next up is the agenda approval. If there are any items that need to be removed from the agenda from tonight's meeting, now is the time to do so. All right. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to move to approve the agenda.
Second it.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. The next thing we have, we got it right this time with the proclamation recognizing June as LGBTQ Pride Month in the city of Aztec. So if you would, just a second here. Okay. Proclamation by the city of Aztec declaring the month of June 2018 LGBTQ month in Aztec, New Mexico. Whereas many of the residents, students, city employees, and business owners within the city of Aztec who contribute to the enrichment of our city are a part of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning community. And whereas LGBTQ youth make up a disproportionate number of the American youth who are homeless or who commit suicide. And whereas various advancements have been made with respect to equitable treatment of lesbians, gay men, bisexual, transgender, and questioning persons throughout the nation, out there continues to be some opposition against people from around the world, making it important for cities like Aztec to stand up and show support for our residents who are affected. And whereas June has become a symbolic month in which lesbians, gay men, bisexual people, transgender, and supporters come together in various celebrations of pride. Now therefore, we, the City of Aztec Commission, do hereby proclaim the month of June as LGBTQ Pride Month in the City of Aztec, and invite everyone to reflect on ways we all can live and work together with a commitment to mutual respect and understanding. For the City Commission of Aztec, signed, yours truly. And I know we have some folks here to receive this, so you guys are welcome to join if you like.
Does this feel queer, or is it?
Okay. We'll call it in a second. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Next item on the agenda is citizen recognition. Do we have any citizen recognition, City Manager?
No, sir.
Anybody? No? Okay. Well, I don't know who to recognize. Maybe you can pass it on. I've just noticed, considering the super dry weather and what's going on to the north of us, it seems, and I know that you guys kind of give props where they're due, but our city employees continue to make our city look incredible. We have a new compliance officer, which you can tell there's just little things here and there that are being cleaned up and attended to, and I think it's important to set that culture. And I just want to kind of give a little, high five to the folks that are day in and day out doing the grind and doing the little things that need to be done, to keep the city looking good. And the parks look great, roads look great. So thank you for that. Next up is employee recognition.
I do have one real quick, and then I'll turn it over to Commissioner Sipe, but just wanted to say thank you to Angela Watkins for stepping up to do the interim library director's job. And we got the job advertised, so we're looking. Then I'll turn that over to you.
Yeah, I was glad to hear about Angela. That's good. Just a couple of things that have happened since the last meeting. I just wanted to give a shout out to Cindy Icavetto, our senior director, and to our attorney, Mr. Thrower, for the way that they handled a situation that we had to deal with, an appeal on a thing on the senior center, and unfortunately we had to trespass a gentleman from the senior center for a year. But Cindy had her ducks in the row. She had all of her documentation, and Larry presented. I mean, there was 2 lawyers here, so it was almost like a real trial. But I just wanted to say thank you to both of you for the way that you handled that, and for Cindy for having all of her documentation in place that things went as they should, and I'm sure made your job a little easier. So thank you for that. The other thing I would like to say is on Friday night I had there was an incident with one of my neighbors, and her sister was here from Indiana, and so of course she didn't know anything, but they ended up having to take my neighbor to the hospital. But because she has a dog and it's very protective, we had to call Crystal from the animal shelter came over, and they were able to take the dog for a couple days till her sister was able to figure some things out. 2 of our police officers were called in. I know Ty Atencio, and I can't remember the other one, Chief, that was out there. But anyway, they were great in handling the situation. And of course our EMTs, Teresa Simpson, and the people that came out with her, everybody was they were very helpful in a situation that was kind of touchy. And so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for their care, because they were very caring, but they were very professional. So thank you very much for that. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. We are moving into the consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda will be voted on with one motion. If any item proposed does not meet the approval of all commissioners, a commissioner may request that the item be heard under items from consent agenda. Is there anybody? Okay. I will now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda as given.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Okay. All right. Now, we are ready for citizens' input. So, citizens' input. If there is anyone here that would like to address the commission regarding any item not on this evening's agenda, you have up to 3 minutes to speak, and you need to have signed up, or to go ahead and sign up with Carla at the desk over here to your right. Thank you. Okay, we have MP Schildmeyer, and after that is Donald Stage. Okay, that works.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor,
Good evening.
commissioners, staff. I just want to say I'm MP Schildmeyer, and I'm co-chair of Farmington Pride. And I just want to say that this proclamation means such a lot to us in the LGBT community. As far as I know, this has never happened in San Juan County before. It has been asked of other places, and they have refused to do it. And I'd like to commend you and thank you all for being willing to do this. It is important. Back in 1969, there was something called the Stonewall Revolt in New York City. And the habit was that all of the bars that service the LGBT community were owned mainly by the mob. And you had to take that into consideration when you went there. Then the police would raid it every now and then, and the patrons would be taken off to jail and mistreated and beaten and things of that nature. So one day in 1969, that happened, and the LGBT people that were at the Stonewall Bar stood up for their rights. And although they were taken to jail, it was the beginning of a revolution. And that revolution has continued throughout the country, and it has been a continuous struggle just for equality. Equality under the law is all that has ever been asked by the LGBT community. So we have June as Pride Month all over the country just to commemorate that struggle and that fight. And we have a good time during Pride Month. We're going to have our Pride Parade. This is the third annual in San Juan County, the Farmington Pride Parade, this Saturday. And we like to call it the Chicken to Chicken March because it starts at Church's Fried Chicken on West Main and ends up at Kentucky Fried Chicken down on Butler Street. So everyone's welcome to come. There will be candy. You can march with us. If the city would like to bring their banner and just walk with us, that's wonderful. You can march. You can be a spectator. But one other thing I did want to point out, you may have heard in the proclamation the mention of the LGBT youth. LGBT youth have a higher rate of suicide, 4 times higher than non-LGBT youth in this country. And that's one of the main reasons that we continue to fight for rights. So again, I thank you, and here's Don's stage.
You're much shorter than I am. Hi, I'm Donald Stage, and I'm working with MP on the Pride March this Saturday. I'm also on the board of directors for Identity Inc., which is the only brick and mortar LGBTQ community center in New Mexico right now. I just wanted to thank you again profusely for what you've done tonight. It really is important to us, and we appreciate it. I also wanted to mention that our committee has voted and picked as Grand Marshal this year one of your commissioners, Mark Lewis, to represent us. His work both professionally and personally and now politically is very important to us in our community, and we really appreciate him as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, MP. Thank you, Donald. Okay. I guess we're ready to move on into business items on the agenda. Business item A. Sorry, I don't have my reading glasses tonight. Those are too strong for me. I've tried before. Final adoption of ordinance 2018-473, amending section 8-21 Fire Code Standards adopted.
Mr. Mayor, that just references the Aztec City Code. It updates the fire code from the 2009 edition to the 2015 edition as requested by the fire department.
Right.
So this is just the final adoption.
Right. Okay. Any discussion, any questions, additions? Okay. Carla, could you call the roll, please?
Mayor Schmidt.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. Entertain a motion.
Mayor, move to approve final adoption of ordinance 2018-473, amending section 8-21 Fire Code Standards adopted.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Now, Carla, would you please call the roll? Sorry about that.
Mayor Stelter.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Bright.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving right along. Item B, final adoption of ordinance 2018-474, amending the Municipal Code of Aztec, New Mexico, Chapter 4, alcoholic beverages.
All this does basically is allows the business license officer, who's Delane George, the authority to sign off and approve the special use or special dispenser permit application.
Right. Okay. Again, I'll ask if there's any questions. I mean, I know a lot of the stuff we're pretty familiar with, we've already covered, it's just final stuff, but, okay. Without any questions or discussion, I would entertain another motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to move to approve the final adoption of ordinance 2018-474, amending the Municipal Code of Aztec, New Mexico, Chapter 4, alcoholic beverages.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Carla, could you call the roll, please?
Mayor Snyder?
Aye.
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry?
Aye.
Commissioner Spike?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. We've got quite a few of these, so I'm going to try and get through them pretty quick unless there's somebody that wants to stop and talk about it here. Item C, final adoption of ordinance 2018-475, excuse me, amending section 25-86 Water Conservation Plan, regulation and limitation on use of water.
This is final adoption of what we discussed before.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
make a motion we adopt final adoption ordinance 2018-475, amending section 25-86 Water Conservation Plan, regulation and limitation of use of water.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Carla, please call the roll.
Mayor Snyder?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry?
Aye.
Commissioner Spike?
Aye.
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item D is the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-476, amending Chapter 16, Division 3, Section 16-211, solid waste rates.
And I'm going to step back and let the expert handle this one.
Okay.
This one's pretty easy. Our solid waste contract with Transit Waste provides that they can request annual increases. One is based on the annual CPI, and the other is for a fuel adjustment. This year, this will be the first year of the contract in which they can make that request. They requested a CPI increase. So based on the calculations contained in the agreement, it's a 1.35% increase to solid waste rates. This ordinance provides that our rates to customers do increase rather than the city absorbing this cost. Questions?
No.
No, thank
We
you.
knew it was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about it. We knew it's coming, so. Anybody have any questions? Kathy? Okay. With that, I would entertain a motion, please.
Mayor Snover?
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-476, amending Chapter 16, Division 3, Section 16-211, solid waste rates.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second. Carla, please call the roll. Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry?
Aye.
Commissioner Spike?
Aye.
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, on to item E. Intent to adopt ordinance 2018-477, creating of Chapter 31 Water Conservation and Drought Plan.
Mr. Mayor, this would take the drought plan and it would become a city ordinance, which means changes in fees and specific changes in the drought plan would come before the commission. The city staff has continued to look over it and identified some changes from the one that was implemented in 0203, and based on some of the stuff that happened during that time frame, there were some changes made. Stage 1 is now voluntary as opposed to in the past it was mandatory. So this, once again, just puts it in the city code, easier for the public to find and reference, so on and so forth, and it just formalizes the process, I guess,
Okay.
in a nutshell.
Now, more for the folks that are watching or going to watch on YouTube or whatever, I guess the question, is Stage 1 voluntary now because of some of the changes that have been made in our conservation as far as storage capabilities, et cetera, from that time frame, or?
Yeah, and some changes with, the general public. They've accepted the fact
Their
that we're
habits.
in habits are
Right.
changing, and, Zeroscape is becoming a lot more popular. So people have evolved, changed, and identified the need to change, and that's helped quite a bit.
Okay. All right. I guess that's it for the questions. I would entertain a motion, please.
Mayor, I move to approve the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-477, creating of Chapter 31 Water Conservation and Drought Plan.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Carla, please call the roll.
Mayor Snover,
Aye.
Commissioner Randall,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry,
Aye.
Commissioner Sykes,
Aye.
motion passes 5-0.
Item F is the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-478, amending Chapter 16, Article 4, utility fees.
This goes back to the drought plan as well, and some of the fees have been increased from what they were previously. By amending Chapter 16 and including the fees in Chapter 16, a more formal process has got to go through the City Commission for approval. It has also gives citizens who might not disagree or agree with the fee an avenue for the appeal. So that's the intent with that, is to change the fees, put it in Commission's hands for approval, and go from there.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
I don't have any.
And these would be incorporated in Chapter 16, which includes all the other
Right.
city fees
Right.
as well.
Okay, that's item F, right? Okay, I will entertain another motion, please, for item F.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-478, amending Chapter 16, Article 4, utility fees.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Carla, call the roll, please.
Mayor Snover,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry,
Aye.
Commissioner Randall,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis,
Aye.
Commissioner Sykes,
Aye.
motion passes 5-0.
All right, on to item G, is the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-479, amendment to section 1-12, mandatory penalty and fees, disposition and use of fees.
Here comes the judge.
Hey, Judge.
Mr. Mayor, Commission, the reason this is on here is after I became judge 8 years ago, I looked at this. It hadn't been changed in a while. We did some changing then. We cleaned up some stuff. But over time, you still need to look at stuff. So we looked at it again. During staff, we've talked about budget. We've talked about everything. As you know, in July, our jail fees are going to go up substantially. Our correction fees are not going to go up. The state hasn't approved for that to happen. Those are set by the state statute. We're not allowed to touch those. We're not allowed to increase them, I should say. So this is going to kind of help, hopefully, by increasing the penalty assessment on traffic offenses. This should help a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be the cure-all, but it should help a little bit.
Help to offset it somewhat.
And we're looking at next legislative session, we're going to try to get the automation fund fee raised again at the state level. Again, that's what pays for all the courts within, municipal courts within the state to become automated and to stay automated,
Right.
to where everybody can access our court systems.
Okay.
It got through the legislators this year, got pocket vetoed by the governor. We're hoping that with the new administration that this will pass. So if that does happen, we will again be coming before you to be in line with the state statute.
Okay. All right. Any questions for the judge? Thank you, sir. Okay. I would like to entertain a motion for item G.
Mayor, I move to approve intent to adopt ordinance 2018-479, amendment to section 1-12, mandatory penalty and fees, disposition and use of fees.
Second.
Okay. Who got that one?
We'll just all second it.
We have a motion and a second. Carla, please call the roll.
Mayor Snover,
Aye.
Commissioner Randall,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis,
Aye.
Commissioner Sykes,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, and our final item for business items tonight is item H, Resolution 2018-1087, adoption of the Downtown Metropolitan Redevelopment Area, or MRA Plan.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Mr. Saavedra.
Before I get started, some changes that came in late Sunday, so we can pass it.
Sure.
This is a business item to adopt the MRA Downtown Plan. As you can recall, last month, the consultants group, Consensus Planning, presented at a public meeting. We've had the plan out on city website for public comment, for staff comment, and for city commission comment. We received a few comments, primarily from city staff, and those were sent back to the consultants to make the necessary changes. We haven't received any public comment to date, and so we're asking for final adoption of the MRA Downtown Plan.
Okay. So it looks like these changes were just a couple of just wordplay kind of things, basically.
And those changes came in after the agenda was put
Right.
together.
Okay.
So that's why I was sent forward.
Yeah, I don't see anything that kind of changes anything, from the original, so. Just terminology a little bit. Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Saavedra? Any comments?
No.
Any issues? No?
No.
I saw you still reading it. I wanted to make sure.
No, I just
didn't
was
wanna jump
double
ahead.
checking.
Okay. All right. In that case, I will entertain a motion then. Thank you, Mr. Saavedra.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I'd
ma'am.
like to move to approve the resolution 2018-1087, adopting the City of Aztec's Downtown Metropolitan Redevelopment Area Plan.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for item H. Carla, please call the roll.
Mayor Snover,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry,
Aye.
Commissioner Sykes,
Aye.
Commissioner Randall,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis,
Aye.
motion passes 5-0.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. No land use hearings. Next is city manager, commissioners, and city attorney reports. Mr. Mueller?
Just want to say I spent the weekend in Chicago, and I am extremely happy to be back in Aztec.
Windy City windy?
Sir?
Was the Windy City windy?
Yes, sir, it was, and rainy. I'm trying to bring some rain back, but hopefully that'll start this weekend. Just quickly, I've been attending the drought stakeholders meetings every couple of weeks. The Office of Safety here in the county has been putting on myself and Andrew Galloway, so we're monitoring as best we can. Things haven't improved much, but hopefully that changes this weekend, get the monsoons going. And then also attended the San Juan Water Conservation meeting, or Commission meeting this past week that was very informative about some of the history. So attended that with Commissioner Lewis and Mr. Saavedra. Very informative. That's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for,
Yes, ma'am.
is there any idea of when we may go to stage 2?
No, Farmington was talking like they might go
Right.
fairly quick.
Right.
But we're still in, as far as water supply, in
We're
good
still-
shape.
Okay.
So I don't see it, a recommendation for that within
Not
the
yet.
next couple of weeks,
Okay.
yeah.
And how's the dredging coming of Reservoir 1?
Going pretty good.
Still on track to be done with that?
Yes.
At the end of the month?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Commissioners, Commissioner Seib, I guess we'd start with you. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I also was back east. I was in Delaware for a week, and I sure wish I could have brought some rain back. attended my grandson's graduation, and there was 359 graduates in Smyrna, Delaware. And we got down, it was supposed to rain that day, but then it had held off. It got down to the last 3 graduates to get their diploma, and we had like about 3 drops of rain, and then it just downpoured. I mean, downpoured. We were soaked to the skin by the time we got to the car, and the poor last graduate, it was like, here's your diploma, 2018 graduates, turn your tassel, congratulations, and everybody ran. So anyway, but I wish I could have brought some of that rain back with us, but yeah. I love the rain and the green, but I don't like the humidity. So anyway, before I left, I attended the MPO meeting and had a good conversation with Lawrence Lopez and Brad Fisher about the arterial, and they're very supportive. I think they're really trying to help us get through this process and to get it finished. They're very much on board with helping us do what we need to do to get it finished, so that was a good thing. And then at the MPO meeting, they have a new website, and you put your input in. You can go on this website and put your input in about the bike and pedestrian plan for the Farmington MPO. It looks pretty cool when they showed it to us, so I think it's up on I think the connection's up on so Ed's already taken care of that for us. So if you get a chance, you might go on there and you can put in what things that you think need to be done in our area for pedestrian and bike paths. So then on tomorrow I have Northwest Mexico Seniors meeting, and Thursday I have the San Juan County Growth Management meeting, and then I have EDAB next week. And I just have to say, once again, I hope we can keep our splash park open as long as possible. I mean, every time you go by there, it's just packed.
They're having so fun.
In fact, we had my grandson's 4th birthday party down there on Saturday, and yeah, the kids had a ball. So that was good. Oh, one other thing, I do have with the MPO report, I do have the new Farmington MPO committee bylaws and operating procedures and the joint powers agreement. If anybody's interested in looking over that. Kathy, I did get your comments on that. Thank you. And Mr. Thrower, have you looked over this yet, by any chance?
On the
MPO,
no,
on the joint powers, and so I'll get you a.
Yeah, I don't think I've.
You're not on the email.
Been sent one. Okay. But if somebody wants me to take a look at it.
Yeah, I think.
I'll be here tomorrow. So matter of fact, I think we're in a meeting tomorrow. So.
Okay.
I can, if you want to give me a copy then.
Sure. I will do that, because I think it's up. They're going to finalize it at the July meeting. So if I can get you to take a look at it.
Bring a copy to the meeting tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I will. Thank you. That's fine.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem?
I wanted to make comment about many citizens in Aztec have been interested in helping in any way they can with the Durango Fire, the evacuees and firemen that are assisting in that terrible fire. I think it's affecting all of us. It's certainly upsetting to me that they're experiencing this terrible fire, and it affects all of us. But I've had many people talk about offering their homes and wanting to know what else they could do. So I did some research on phone numbers where people might be able to assist, and Ed and Steve helped with putting that together and getting it on our website. Also, I've been corresponding with Laurie Martinez today, and she had brought up the list of supplies that could be used by the firefighters up there. So I called the Durango Fire Department, and to their great fortune, they have had an abundance of supplies donated, and incredible response for the firefighters up there, so they don't need any of those things. But what she did say was the food bank in Durango desperately needs food. And so Laurie and I are working together to see about getting that information on our website, and she had been contacted by employees that want to help, and so we'll see about having a food drive. And I'm available to take food up to the food bank there, and I know I have a friend also that goes up there 3 times a week. So bring in your food here to the City Hall, and we'll get it to that food bank and help those folks out. Also, they need housing. There are lots of people that have no place to stay. So a number is on the website as to who you can contact to say you have a room in your house, and then the person needing housing will contact you directly from that number. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to say we all know we're really good at food bank
As I hear that.
raising, so.
I hear that.
So.
Yeah, I worked at Echo. I remember your reputation.
Where's that Mr. Potato?
Commissioner Lewis?
Yeah, or Mr. Potato Head.
Actually, I also attended the San Juan Water Commission meeting with Steve. It was very informative, and contrary to popular belief, I was not at the original discussion of the San Juan, or the Animas La Plata project in 1905. But they went back, that's how far back they went in this discussion of the Animas La Plata and the San Juan Water Commission. It was very informative. Some of it I've known, and some of it I learned, and it was interesting. I also have a copy of the water resource update, if anybody would like to peruse it. It doesn't tell us anything we don't know. I guess the confluence at the Animas at the San Juan and Farmington is 25% of average right now, which is quite low. And they also talked about the process that would have to go through should things get really dry and have to start releasing from Ridges Basin Reservoir, which is also called Lake Nighthorse, and how that would be handled. And there's a subject they brought up which I've only heard of, I've never heard it happening up here, called a call on the river, which would mean the state would actually take over the operation of the Animas from the state line down. So we're hoping it never gets to that point at all. So let's hope for lots of rain in the next coming weeks, and we can not have to deal with any of that stuff. So yeah, that was pretty much it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Commissioner Randall?
No report.
All right. I have a brief report. I attended the ECHO board meeting after the last city commission meeting. Not really much to talk about. It was more administrative stuff and some of the vision plan things that the CEO, Ms. Pierce, had been working on. Today, I had the privilege and the pleasure of being a guest speaker at the San Juan County Rotary Club Luncheon in Farmington, and got to meet some folks and got to talk and highlight some of the things that are going on here in Aztec, with especially the MRA and the new bike shop and the things going on with 550 Brewing and the hub. So I enjoyed sharing some of the good news coming out of Aztec. And just one last plug for the Pride Parade this weekend in Farmington, 11 a.m. I'll be there. Hope to see you there. And that's all I have. Mr. Thrower?
I'd just like to add something to thank the firefighters and the people that are dealing with the fire, the 416 fire in Durango. I just drove back early yesterday morning from Viceta Lake in the Bayfield area, and they've got almost 900 firefighters, hundreds of vehicles, several aircraft, and those folks are putting in 18, 20-hour days. There's a staging camp at Viceta Lake where they're being fed and resting, and they're just doing an incredible job against tremendous odds. And I think that we all just need to continue to thank and pray for those firefighters up there.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Next is department reports. Department heads, please.
Just quickly, I want to thank you for your letter of support that you approved tonight, so that a week from Saturday, I'll be going down to the Resolutions Committee and presenting that letter of support to the group there, and trying to get the resolution passed and as the top priority. for school safety. So thank you very much for doing that. Chief's Coffee is next Tuesday night. National Night Out is coming up, so you might want to put it on your calendar. July 17th, I believe that's a Tuesday, is when our National Night Out is. We'll start at 5 o'clock, and Chief's Coffee this month, we're going to be talking about volunteers and jobs and some assignments, so we encourage anybody that's interested in helping and participating to come on over. We'll be meeting at the police department and hopefully have a good meeting, so thank you.
All right. Thanks, Chief.
You're coming, Judge, again.
Real quick. In my monthly report, I advised, or if you guys got a chance, I was elected to the executive board of the National Judges Association. This is a national association of non-attorney judges throughout the United States. I've been a state representative for the last 3 years, but they asked me to run this year. So just to let you know, it's not going to mean a whole lot more that I have to do. I just have to be secretary for a couple of years, and then you move up the ranks. But I thought it was pretty cool that they asked me to do that. And,
Congratulations.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of representation from the state at the national level. We've only got about 19 judges that are actually members, 5 that are actually active members. So my goal is to get more people to go. So
Congratulations.
that's just something that the court's doing right now.
Cool. Awesome. Congratulations.
Mr. Mayor, that's quite an honor to have
Yes.
the municipal judge of a small municipality elected to that national office,
Yes,
so.
absolutely.
That's great. Yeah, I appreciate the context, because I mean, it sounds pretty awesome, but I appreciate that. Well, again, another congratulations then.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I would then move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Consider it done.
I guess I could have seconded yours.